All right, let's talk about the AI product manager. There is so much hype, so much noise around this role. Today, we're going to cut right through all of that to look at the real practical career behind the buzzwords. We'll break down what this job is actually about, what it takes to land it, and maybe most importantly, whether it's the right move for you. Let's get into it. And you see quotes like this one, and it's easy to think, okay, more tech hype. But this is different. This is a huge signal that we're seeing a fundamental shift in how products get made. It tells us that this isn't just some niche specialty anymore. It's becoming a core part of product development itself. Okay, so what does that actually mean for someone on the ground? Beyond the big, bold predictions, what does an AI product manager do on a random Tuesday morning? What kinds of problems are they trying to solve? That's the real question we're going to unpack today. And the reason this role even exists, the whole reason we're talking about it, comes down to one simple thing. AI products are just different. They're a totally new breed of product, and they behave in ways that traditional software just doesn't. So what's the job, really? At its heart, an AI PM is a bridge. Think of them as a translator. On one side, you have these incredibly powerful, cutting-edge AI technologies. And on the other, you have real people with real-world problems. The AI PM's job is to connect those two things, to make sure all that amazing tech actually solves a problem for someone. You know, if you want a simple way to think about this job, a mental model to hold in your head, it's these three things. The AI PM is a translator, a decision maker, and a risk owner. We're going to keep coming back to these three pillars because they really define the role. All right, this next part is maybe the single most important mindset shift you have to make, especially if you're coming from traditional product management. It's moving from a world of certainty to a world of probabilities. And that changes absolutely everything. So what do I mean by that? Well, traditional software is what we call deterministic. You click save, it saves 100% of the time. It's predictable, it's binary. AI products, on the other hand, are probabilistic. They don't deal in absolutes. They operate in likelihoods, in maybes, in confidence scores. Let's make this real. When you ask a chatbot a question, it's not looking up an answer in a book. It's actually generating what it calculates is the most likely good answer. Or think about when your phone identifies a face in a photo. It's not 100% sure that's your friend. It's saying, I have 98% confidence this is them. And here's the key. The AI PM's job is to look at that 98% and decide, is that good enough for our users? And what happens the 2% of the time it's wrong? And that's why this quote from Andrew NG is so powerful. He's basically saying that as the tech gets easier to build, the real challenge, the limiting factor, is deciding what to build in the first place. That puts the product manager right at the center of the action. It makes the role more critical than ever. So this leads us right into that second part of our mental model, the decision maker. Because AI isn't perfect and because it operates on probabilities, the entire job is about making one tough call after another. You're the owner of the trade-offs. And these are not easy black and white choices. I mean, think about it. For your product, do you want an AI model that's super accurate but kind of slow? Or one that's a little less accurate but feels instant to the user? How about personalization? Do you give users amazing, tailored results if it means you have to collect more of their data? There's no right answer in a textbook. The AI PM has to make that call. So you see, the AI PM is standing right in the middle. You've got what the customer needs over here, what the business goals are over there, and then you have what the AI can realistically and safely do. The PM's job is to balance all three of those forces. That's the heart of the role, right there. Okay, so what kind of person actually thrives in this role? What skills do you really need? There are a lot of myths about this, so let's just bust them right now. And this is the big one, right? The question everyone asks. Do I need a PhD in machine learning to be an AI PM? It feels like you must have to be this super deep technical expert. But is that really the case? And the answer is a resounding no. Absolutely not. Remember that first part of our model? You're an expert translator, not a PhD researcher. Your job isn't to build the algorithm. Your job is to understand it well enough to ask the right questions, to challenge your engineering team, and ultimately to own the product experience, not the code. And if you look at how the skills actually break down, this becomes even clearer. The biggest chunk of the pie here, it's your core product management skills. Things like user research, roadmap planning, UX sense, that's still the foundation. Yes, AI and data literacy is a big, important piece, but it's adding to that foundation, not replacing it. And get this. A recent analysis found that a whopping 60% of people currently working as AI product managers, they don't have a computer science degree. They came from traditional product roles, from data analysis, from business strategy, even marketing. This proves that the path is way more accessible than most people think. Okay, so let's bring this all together. What does this look like as an actual career? Let's talk about the market, the demand, and what you could do next if this is starting to sound interesting to you. First off, let's talk money. The market is showing us that these skills are incredibly valuable. On average, companies are paying AI PMs a premium of about 15 to 20% more than a traditional PM at the same level. That's a pretty clear signal of just how much demand there is for this kind of expertise. And this isn't some brand new fleeting trend. If you look back, this role has been on a steady climb. Just a few years ago, it was a pretty rare, informal title. But now, especially after the huge boom in generative AI, it's become one of the fastest growing and most in-demand roles in all of tech. So, we've covered what the job is, why it exists, and what it takes. But really, the only question that matters now is the one you have to ask yourself. Is this the right career path for you? And it really boils down to this. This job is probably for you if you're one of those people who is just naturally curious, you're okay with things being a bit messy and ambiguous, and you genuinely enjoy being that bridge between technology and business. On the other hand, it might not be a great fit if you prefer a predictable routine, if you really don't like getting into technical details, or if you're not a fan of making decisions based on data and probability. And hey, if you're listening to this and thinking, yes, this sounds like me, the good news is the path to get there isn't as scary as it seems. Your first steps are really straightforward. 1. Just start building your knowledge. Take a foundational course like AI for Everyone on Coursera. The goal isn't to become an engineer, it's just to learn the language. 2. Get your hands dirty. Play around with some no-code AI tools. Build something simple to feel how it works. And 3. Become a student of the game. Look at how companies like Netflix or Spotify use AI and try to figure out why they made the decisions they did. See, it's not about getting another degree. It's about taking small, practical steps to start thinking like an AI product manager. So, the real question is, what's your first step going to be?